All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. And welcome to our session, Harnessing the Power of Construction Data with Machine Learning and Procore Analytics. My name is Aaron Lober, and I'm going to be your host for today's session. And we're going to be exploring the potential of project data to up-level construction processes. And we'll examine the impact of tools like Procore Analytics while diving into other areas of Procore's platform that are being transformed by applications of data, AI, and ML. Now, many of you may have an intuition that data has intrinsic value, right? And some other folks on the call, that might sound a little bit like science fiction, but the fact is, modern digital construction tools are producing massive quantities of untapped project data. And that data certainly has really big value if you can harness it effectively. We're going to both show you and talk a lot about some cool things that we're doing in Procore today. So I just want to remind everyone that all your software purchasing decisions should be based on current state and not forward-looking statements. Now, with that little housekeeping out of the way, and before I go any further at all, I want to give a big thank you to our partner, Harkins Builders, for joining us in our session today. And I'm really excited to have Patrick Hennessy, our Director of Scheduling and Analytics with Harkins, who's here to help us tell the construction data story. And in a few minutes, Patrick is going to be sharing Harkins' journey towards better applications of construction data. I also want to take a second to introduce a few of the members of the brain trust behind our data initiatives here at Procore. This team has been doing some incredibly interesting things within the product, and I'm really excited to have them here with me. So with all that said, I'd love to introduce Shabai Bagchi, Ripple Goyle, and Kate Nuff. Now, together, we're going to demonstrate some of the ways that Procore harnesses project data to make you more efficient and more effective. And hopefully, you'll all walk out of our session today with a plan for how you can get more out of your data. But before getting into all of that, it's important that we create the proper context. So to kick us off, here's an idea that I hope many of you will intuitively agree with. Digitization has done quite a bit for construction, but the industry is still, to this day, chock full of inefficient processes. By now, I'm sure most folks are familiar with the famous McKinsey report from 2017, where the construction industry was highlighted as being one of the slowest growing sectors of the global economy in terms of labor productivity. We've been growing at about 1% annually over the last 20 years. Now compare that with 2.8% across the rest of the global economy. And a big part of this productivity problem is related, unfortunately, to rework. Nearly 13% of costs on an average project are related to rework. Deloitte now has the global construction industry reaching $11 trillion by 2024. So the financial impact of these inefficiencies is pretty significant. And given our historic struggles with labor productivity growth, it's worth us posing the question, why are we so inefficient? And ultimately, what can we do about it? Now, it shouldn't surprise anyone for me to say the why is really rooted in construction's complexity. The answer to how we address that complexity, however, is much more interesting. And we do that by getting better utilization of our project data. Now, after surveying hundreds of customers, we were able to determine that across the industry, construction companies estimate they could reduce project costs by 12 to 13% with better access to and utilization of project data, which is a really good thing because the wave of digitization is producing just loads of it. Now, sadly, when we look out across the construction industry, the vast majority of project data still goes unused. In fact, 96% of it. So I want to pause just for a moment and let that really sink in. Much of this data is naturally unstructured, making it kind of difficult to process and use. But that said, a big part of this underutilization comes from construction technology companies not providing the right tools to appropriately utilize all this valuable data. And as a result of that shortfall, you get survey results like this, where in the FMI 2020 report, construction firms identified getting insights from their project data as the least effectively addressed business challenge that they face. So, how does Procore leverage project data to address all this complexity and making construction more efficient and closing the productivity gap in the process? Well, bottom line, we're taking our existing experiences in Procore and making them significantly better by applying AI and ML, offering up analytics solutions to support data-driven decision making. And we do this in many ways across the platform, but today we'll be focusing on three key areas: helping you retrieve information from unstructured data more easily to save your team time, automating repetitive or time-intensive tasks, making your team more productive, and delivering predictive and prescriptive insights for better data-driven decision-making. So, with the groundwork laid for the rest of our discussion, and without any further ado, I'm happy to introduce Patrick Hennessy from Harkins Builders to share their data story with us.
Thank you, Aaron, and thank you everybody for taking the time to listen to our presentation about data in the construction industry here today. A quick introduction about myself and my organization, Harkins Builders. I'm the Director of Scheduling and Analytics at Harkins, and Harkins, we do about $400 million a year in revenue, and we operate on the mid-Atlantic East Coast of the United States. So we really do work from Jersey down to the Carolinas. Our primary market sector is multifamily, but we also do government work and we do some commercial work as well. And the reason I wanted to kind of give you that introduction is so hopefully as I'm explaining to you our data journey so far here today, you can begin to compare yourself and where you stack up against others in the industry as you begin to maybe consider taking on a data journey of yourself here in the not too distant future. So did you know that data is already affecting much of what you do in Procore today? The search function, the way that drawings become hyperlinked, and the way that your submittal register is created from analyzing a spec book, that's AI and ML already in action and things that Procore is already doing with data to make your lives easier. In the future, in this industry, our hope is that analytics and machine learning can together help change the entire construction industry to a data-driven mindset. Think about the sports world from 20 years ago or targeted advertising. Facebook and Google and other big tech firms are tracking every little piece of data that you give them so that they can provide the most targeted advertising to you individually and therefore get the most clicks, which results in profit for them. In the construction industry, why can't we do the same thing? Start to track all of our data and then have predictive insights and predictive analytics help us determine where we can mitigate risk and avoid risk altogether on our construction projects. But let's take it back a little bit here to where we started as Harkins Builders with our data journey and with Procore and where we are now. So we started about 2.5 years ago, and at that point, we had been using Procore for about 3 to 4 years. And we started to realize that we had all of this data going into Procore, but once it went up there, it wasn't really doing anything. Going back to what Aaron mentioned, 96% of data going unused, it was going unused. We were tracking the data, but we weren't using it. We had data silos. We had limited information being shared among our teams. Individual data analysis, maybe analysis happening on a project by project basis, but no portfolio level analysis. And we had a lack of consistent data recording procedures at that. So team to team, we're recording things differently, doing processes differently within Procore. And finally, we didn't have any metrics that we were tracking against, no KPIs that could really give us insights into what our data was telling us. So our vision was, we want to analyze this data across our portfolio instead of on a project-to-project basis in those silos that I just mentioned. We want to use data to identify risks early on and then establish consistent systems to mitigate that risk. And when you use data to be able to get insights into your organization and the way that processes are occurring, you can hold your teams and your individuals accountable for those processes by seeing if the data is coming into your database accurately and standardized in the way that you've set forth. Lastly, we wanted to create a brand. We wanted to build a movement that our organization could get behind. This allows support to come in from early adopters very early on in your process, and that is key to having this take off within your organization. So our journey so far, like I mentioned, is approximately 2.5 years in the making. In the beginning, we developed a roadmap. And in that roadmap, we wanted to identify certain things. How were we going to get our data? What was our database going to look like? What tools were we going to use to get insights from it? For us, the answer to those things included bringing in a third-party consultant to help us retrieve our data, using Power BI to create dashboards and create reports that were going to deliver to us those insights. We started by identifying low-hanging fruit. So an area where we knew we had consistent and accurate data was our safety data. We knew we were doing things consistently across the organization because our safety department was doing it for all of our different projects. So for us, that was low-hanging fruit, and that's where we decided to focus in first. We were able to create a safety report and then highlight that as a small win when we rolled it out to the organization. When you're able to kind of highlight those small victories, again, it's going to bring those early adopters in to support you very early on in your process and build that momentum that you need within your company in order to push a journey like this through. Finally, we included input from our users. Our reports at that very beginning, 3 to 6 month time period look very different than they do today. And that's because after every revision that we rolled out, we included that input from the end users and those early adopters so that they could help us understand what they wanted to see. And then therefore they are using the tool to the best of the capability that it can be used for. Some challenges that we've had along the way include process standardization not being easy. If your company is anything like ours, we were doing things a million different ways, and therefore the data was being collected in a multitude of different ways. You need that data to be accurate and standardized in order to get that portfolio level insights that you're looking for. And user buy-in takes time. There are many individuals who still are skeptics about data and the benefits that it could have. And really, one of the key things about user buy-in is being able to get those early adopters on your side and to help push your agenda forward and help others see how valuable it can be. Today, we're starting to realize insights from our data, and we're starting to solve problems as a result. And you'll hear me say starting to realize and starting to solve problems. That's because we're still at the beginning of this journey, even though we're 2.5 years in. And therefore, once we get those problems and we're starting to solve them, it turns into actionable insights, which equal results. Us being able to take action, make a decision on a problem that we see based on the data and being able to get a positive result from that. So I'm speaking about some of these problems, and I want to highlight a couple key areas where we have started to solve problems. The first one is issues with the data. So one of the first things we were able to see when we started to analyze our data was issues that we were having with it. We could see where things weren't standardized. We could see where the same process that we thought was taking place in the same way was actually being entered by two different teams, two different projects in different regions in a different way. And the data wasn't coming in consistently. We were able to then focus our efforts on standardization in those areas that we saw had the most issues. We're also able to start to see things like who are our most unsafe trade partners? What are our most common safety inspection concerns that we're seeing? Who are our slowest responding trade partners and architects to submittals and RFIs? And who are our most utilized trade partners in terms of who do we have the most projects with at any given time? Are we dragging their resources thin? And do we need to consider maybe going with another trade partner if we have too much work with one individual? And last problem that we've started to solve is accountability. And when I speak about accountability, what I mean is when we're able to collect this data and see the way that things are being entered and done in Procore and other systems that we have and the processes that are set forth to do those things, we're able to hold teams accountable to doing things the correct way and making sure that we get that data accurate. So then after the problems, we identify them, we can start to see things with these problems. Then we get to actionable results. And I want to just highlight a couple things that we've been able to get to in terms of actionable results in my organization. We're starting to consider using different contract language with trade partners based off of some of these metrics that we're seeing. One individual example is about safety violations per man hours worked on a job site and requiring that threshold be at a certain level for all of our trade partners in order to work on our jobs, or else maybe provide a safety professional at all times that they're on site if they cannot meet that threshold. Specialized training, both internally and externally with our own people, and then with our trade partners, with our owners, with our architects that we work with. And then transparency equals these actionable results. And what I mean by that is, again, when we're transparent as an organization with our data and the stuff that we're collecting, that enables the people within your organization to want to produce because they know that their good hard work is going to be seen. So transparency as an organization, especially with data, equals results. And then last and bolded here is, why are things happening the way they are? When we look at all of this data and we can see how things have played out in the past, it allows us to understand why things have happened on projects in certain ways. And from that, we can make predictions about the future. And making calculated and good predictions is always going to help us mitigate risk. So now that you've seen a little bit about where we are, let's talk about the future state. We hope as Harkins to have a combined use of analytics and machine learning and also AI to help us with these predictive insights and predictive analytics in the future. Just like I mentioned, we want data-driven decision-making at all stages of our construction process, from pre-construction all the way through warranty and closeout. We want our employees to be creating personalized reports and dashboards that fit their individual needs. And we want process automation and the elimination of obsolete processes across all of our systems in our organization. So with that, I'm going to turn things over to Shabai to talk to you a little bit about the search feature that Procore's got and how that is playing right into some of these future state things that I just mentioned.
Thank you, Patrick. Hello, everyone. My name is Shabai Bakchi. I'm a senior product manager at Procore, working on machine learning and search. And I'm really excited to talk to you today about Procore Search, our new offering, which allows you to search across all your project data from one single location. Studies show that for construction projects, roughly 13% of the user's time is spent trying to find the right information. Now, as projects get more complex, users are spending more and more time trying to track down the right data. Now, traditionally, search within Procore was siloed, which means you exactly had to know the tool which contained the information that you're looking for. Also, there was no way for you to search across all your project data from one single location. With the traditional search experience, you also had to switch context from tool to find the information, which ended up taking valuable time. I'm excited to walk you through a quick demo and show you how we are solving these problems with the release of Procore Search. I can now easily access search from the main header. Say I want to search for the term roofing. As I start typing my search term, Procore starts providing real-time suggestions. If I exactly know what I'm looking for, I can simply click the suggestion and I can find my information with a single click. I can also choose to view all the results in my project and go to the search results page. I now have the ability to narrow down my search results further by applying the relevant tool filters. The preview pane on the right-hand side provides relevant metadata on each search result, which makes it really easy to find what you're looking for. We sincerely hope you will enjoy this streamlined search experience to find your project information quickly within Procore. I also wanted to take a minute to talk about our future vision with Procore Search. Our goal being to make it the single destination where you can find all your project information quickly and easily. So instead of having to type keywords and get results, we envision a paradigm where you can ask questions about your project and get your answers. As an example, say you're working on a project and you want to know what should be the finish of the sprinkler heads that need to be installed in the conference room. Instead of having to type the keyword, get the results, and having to navigate, say, to page 200 of that PDF spec book, you can simply type your question and get the answer directly, saving you valuable time and effort. To provide you with more updates on our machine learning efforts, I'm really excited to introduce my colleague, Ripple Goel.
Thank you, Shabai. Hello, everybody. My name is Ripple Goel, and I am a principal engineer for data and machine learning. I'm here to talk about some of the new and exciting ways we're using artificial intelligence and machine learning to elevate your Procore experience. So our customers trust us with 110 terabytes of data each month, which is equivalent to uploading 22 million digital photos every month. With that much data, we are constantly trying to leverage AI and ML to automate your Procore experience, automate your repetitive, laborious tasks, uncover hidden information within your documents, and also provide real actionable insights to drive better outcomes for your projects. So before I show you some examples, let's do an online Zoom class. So AI, or artificial intelligence, is the broad discipline of creating intelligent machines. So for example, when you talk to your car or your phone or even your fridge, that's an example of AI. Machine learning, on the other hand, is the specific application of AI that provides the system the ability to learn and improve from the experience without being explicitly programmed. So now let's see some examples. The first example that I want to talk about is our ability to automatically extract the drawing title, drawing number, and the discipline when you upload a drawing. If you have uploaded drawings to Procore before, I am sure you have come across this capability, but probably never realized there is machine learning working behind the scenes. Here, I am going to upload a PDF drawing file which contains multiple sheets. I will specify the drawing set, accept the defaults on this dialog, and click Upload. Once the drawing set is uploaded, Procore applies optical character recognition (OCR) technology to recognize text from these PDF or image files. Here, you can see that we have scanned the uploaded sheets using OCR and applied machine learning to automatically extract the drawing number, drawing title, and the drawing discipline for you. Imagine if you had a project with hundreds of drawing sheets. How much time would it take you to manually fill in this information? Once I have verified the information, I will hit the Confirm All button to automatically have all these drawings available within Procore in a matter of few minutes, thanks to machine learning and OCR technology. The second example that I wanted to talk about is our submittal builder, which automatically scans the content of the specifications and extracts submittals from them. Let's see how we can convert this tedious, time-consuming process into just a few clicks for creating an accurate and detailed submittal log. Here, I am selecting the spec section and I'm going to generate submittals from it. We automatically scan the PDF spec book using OCR and extract the submittals using machine learning, which are displayed here for me to review. If required, I can also open up the PDF spec section and review the information. If I need to create a submittal, I can simply drag a rectangle across the spec section and Procore automatically extracts the text contained within my bounding box. I can then add a title and hit Confirm to create the submittal. Submittals are ready to use with just a few clicks, which frees up valuable time for you to focus on other important tasks at hand. Of everything you do here at Procore, we will automate all your repetitive tasks so that you can focus on tasks that are important, more productive, and achieve better business outcomes. If you have certain use cases in mind that we could help improve your Procore experience, we would love to hear from you. With that, I will now hand it over to Kate to talk about another area where data is making a difference for you in construction, Procore Analytics.
Thanks, Ripple. Hi, I'm Kate Nuff, a Senior Product Manager on Data and Insights. As Aaron mentioned, 96% of project data currently goes unused, and the types of construction processes being digitized is only going to grow. So think about what kind of insights you might be able to gain from that 96%. Could you drive productivity improvements, create safer job sites, deliver higher quality, improve profit margins? For companies looking to maximize the value of their data, Procore Analytics is here to help. Some of the key things that Procore Analytics solves for are creating great visibility and transparency across your portfolio of work, helping identify blind spots and manage risk, and it can help you uncover the value of the unused 96% of data and elevate your company's competitive edge. Let's dive into Procore Analytics. Procore Analytics is a suite of over 100 highly visual and interactive reports. They are fully customizable and can also pull in data from other applications, like your accounting or CRM system, creating clear visibility and transparency across your tech stack. Procore Analytics is designed to provide a portfolio view of your projects, but also lets you quickly slice and dice the data and dive deep when necessary. Procore Analytics is also a great tool to help you understand and manage project risk. One way to manage risk is to understand how long contractors are taking to close out things like submittals and punch items. Having average closure rates beyond your key performance indicators can lead to schedule delays and potential cost overruns. Let's have a look at the Procore Analytics Submittal Insights page. This report gives you a tremendous amount of insight into not only the overall status of submittal processing at a portfolio level, but also into how contractors are performing. Seeing this data in aggregate can quickly highlight where certain contractors may not be meeting performance expectations. As with all of the reports, it can be viewed at the portfolio level or filtered down to one or more projects. It also enables drill down capabilities to take these insights straight to action. Finally, let's have a look at how Procore Analytics can help uncover hidden insights and help you take advantage of the unused data. Procore Analytics has implemented a suite of reports focused on letting you perform a root cause analysis of negative outcomes. This report leverages powerful AI capabilities to determine how and where projects are going over budget. As a user clicks on the plus icon, they are presented with a variety of analysis options. By clicking on the light bulb, this triggers the AI insights to calculate what the biggest root cause of the budget overruns are. As you can see, the AI algorithm determined that hard costs are the biggest factor in budget overruns, but there's still much more to explore. The end user can now choose to continue getting AI insights or select a field themselves for analysis. After selecting cost codes, we see that mechanical work is a significant contributor to the cost overruns. The owner can also select any item in the chart and filter down to the underlying data to understand the details. This type of analysis will quickly guide the user to understand root causes of budget overruns, take action, and plan accordingly in the future.
All right. Thank you, Kate. We've now heard from one of the many happy customers already benefiting from our data strategy, and we've shown you how you can reap the same benefits. Now, I want to share just a little bit of why the future looks so bright to us. So I posed the question at the top of our presentation: how is Procore using analytics, AI, and ML to up-level your construction processes? Well, today, Procore is the market leader in construction, and we have the industry's largest collection of users managing projects through our system. And as that number grows, the power and the accuracy of our AI and machine learning algorithms similarly improves. And this allows us to build better products with even happier customers, and so on and on it goes. But let's make it tangible. I'm going to give you an example of how increasing volumes of data and smarter algorithms are helping us create better products for you. So I'm sure this statement resonates with every one of you. We want your teams to have all the information they need to successfully mitigate risk. And that's why the data and insights team here has been hard at work building the machine learning models required to deliver project-level benchmarks. Now, these project benchmarks reveal how you're performing relative to the industry or your own internal standards on similar projects. And these benchmarks can be really valuable in helping you demonstrate you're better than competitors when bidding for work. They can help you in determining how to best replicate project success by analyzing similar project cohorts, and they can help you understand sooner and at a more granular level why you're underperforming on specific projects. So if you're interested in seeing how your performance stacks up against the industry, come and register your interest in joining our early benchmarks program. Now, look, final thought. Data usage in construction is still in its infancy, but it's not going away. So your long-term success is going to be seriously impacted by your ability to design a data strategy for your business, and we're here to help you. So for a limited time, Procore is making available at no charge a new educational series, Data in Construction. And this course will help you get comfortable with concepts like data, analytics, AI, and ML, so you can start planning how to leverage them in your business. Now, there are limited spots available, and we're only accepting the first 100 applicants. So visit this page after our session and sign up to reserve your spot. So on behalf of myself, Harkins Builders, and the whole Procore data team, thank you so much for joining our session. I hope you had as much fun as we did and enjoy the rest of Groundbreak.